All right, on tonight's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our generative AI course. Let's go over what we went over tonight. Now, it's still pretty basic information that we're going over. We haven't dived into anything really generative AI-y, if that's a word, yet. We're just still going over the basics of the understanding what we're going to be diving into. We're getting into this course. We can do a little light reading, I guess. Let me see what we left off yesterday. Yesterday we left off with going over this architecture of a GAN here, as you can see. That was from yesterday. So let's pick up where we left off with a little like reading. So we can say, note we should keep in mind that we can also generate. Oh, let me start up here. Okay, so a generator and a discriminator are the two main components inside of the GAN architecture, and a generator and discriminator operate as a neural network. This GAN falls under the generative AI umbrella. So the GAN falls under the generative AI, as we know, and a generative image model, to be more precise. So to be more precise, it falls under the branch of the generative image model, not the generative language model. But note, we should keep in mind that we can also generate images with powerful LLMs as well. Now, we will go over a few models regarding this process of generating images using LLMs like DELI, for example, in the future. But back to the generative image model, which we use with image to image generation. The generative language model is used for text to image generation and text to text generation. In past years, image to image generation was primarily handled by GANs, but as we stated, nowadays it can be performed with powerful LLMs. So GANs aren't the only ones that can perform image to image generation now these days. Back in the day, it was primarily used by GANs or the generative adversarial networks, but these days it can be performed also by large language models as well. Now let's look at an example below. We have questions, we have a cat image, and we have responses. Now in the example, the cat image is representing a generative model where we are given a prompt or given a question and we get a purpose or a response. I don't hold on one second. I don't know what my there we go right there. Okay, we are given a response. So here we are talking about generative models, not specifically LLMs. Remember that we think of generative models as a superset of generative AI. GANs and LLMs are under the umbrella of generative AI. Now back to our example where we are given an input and getting an output. Regarding the LLMs, the inputs are generally known as input prompts and the outputs are known as output prompts. So the image of the cat can be thought of as a generative model or LLM model. So we are passing in the input prompt and we are getting an output prompt. Note the prompt is very important. Now, I'm going to leave it there for tonight. Like I said, it was just only a bunch of note taking. We didn't do anything spectacular. We're just going over the basics of what we're going to be diving into. We haven't actually dived into the course yet. We're just still going over the basics. We're getting familiar with all the tools and all the terminologies we're going to be using moving forward. But of course, I will keep you guys posted every step of the way. But for now, this is the Python Poppy. You guys stay Gucci.